Ferrari's fluctuating form is not a form a championship contender should have in any sport, let alone Formula 1, and that's why the Maranello team needs to sort it out as soon as possible, because not only Red Bull, who are the favourites, McLaren are breathing down their necks as well. Now it seems that more bad news is on the horizon for Ferrari, since the F1 caravan will have a few traditional tracks that suit the RB20 much more than those outliers like Monaco. So could we see the Prancing Horse get into a slump that will pretty much seal their season? Red Bull's struggles with curbs and bumps was evident in the last 4 races in Miami, Imola, Monaco and Canada, as the RB20 exhibited some inherited issues from its predecessors that remain unresolved. These races provided opportunities for Red Bull's competitors to gain ground, partly due to the challenges faced by the Milton Keynes-based team and partly due to their own upgrades. Lando Norris secured his first win in Miami, while Leclerc celebrated an emotional home victory in Monaco. However, as the season moves to more traditional high downforce circuits like Barcelona, the Red Bull Ring and Silverstone, Ferrari driver Leclerc believes Red Bull will be back to full strength on tracks where the RB20 can perform at its best. I feel like the strength of Red Bull will be more visible on a track like Barcelona, Leclerc said after retiring from Montreal's Canadian Grand Prix, but let's wait and see. And behind Red Bull, I think we'll all be pretty close. Charles Leclerc also spoke about the weaknesses limiting the SF24, which the Maranello technicians are working to mitigate. Leclerc analysed Ferrari's season so far, highlighting the areas where the SF24 needs improvement. These issues have been evident in several races, prompting the team to address them. This is still an area we need to work on with the car, so I would say it's the main issue to address, but it's not the only one. There are many small details that, if added together, can make a difference. With a new package that includes more aerodynamic downforce and a bit less aerodynamic drag, we can definitely improve, Leclerc said. We are talking about tenths, sometimes even hundredths of a second, but if we improve these small details, we can really make a difference. We have identified the problem and we are already working on it, added Ferrari's number 16 ahead of the Spanish Grand Prix, the next round of the 2024 Formula 1 Championship. But despite these challenges, Ferrari's season has been positive for Leclerc. Along with his victory on the streets of Monte Carlo in Monaco, he's consistently finished in the top 4 until Canada. While the race in Montreal showcased a lackluster performance from Ferrari, there's no need for despair. The Italian team remains competitive in the Constructors' Championship, trailing Red Bull by only 49 points, much better than last year when the gap was around 200 points at this stage. Given their ambitions for the season, Leclerc is keen to address the car's weakness in long and slow corners. Upon reviewing the races so far, Leclerc noted that the SF24 struggles in long and slow corners, such as those in Bahrain or China, where Ferrari faced difficulties. Of the 9 races held so far in 2024, Max Verstappen has won 6, making up 2/3 of them. However, as team principal Christian Horner has noted, this does not guarantee the 2024 titles are already secured. Red Bull's rivals have closed the performance gap with the RB20, and Verstappen had to rely on his skill to win both the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix at Imola and the Canadian Grand Prix at Montreal's Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. In Montreal, Lando Norris McLaren could lament a missed pit stop under the safety car, which turned a strong lead into a return to the track in 3rd position behind George Russell's Mercedes. Red Bull Racing, despite the difficulties, have won the Canadian Grand Prix, and team principal Christian Horner hinted at upgrades for the Spanish Grand Prix. When asked if Red Bull is one of the teams that will bring new parts to that weekend, Horner replied, "It's all about iterations, and of course you have to look very carefully where you bring your upgrades in through the year. We're closer to the top of the curve, so you get into a law of diminishing returns, but there will be subtle upgrades over the summer months." When Horner was asked if this is a confirmation that Red Bull will bring parts to Spain, he answered, "It's a possible yes." Horner also talked about Checo and how he will bounce back from the 2 bad races in a row that he had in Monaco and Canada. Handed a new 2-year contract, of course, by Red Bull ahead of the Canadian Grand Prix for his strategic value and ability to support Verstappen in the championship fight. Perez is already in dire need of recapturing his early season form. It was a horrible weekend for Checo, and obviously we picked up some damage, Horner told Sky Sports F1. He'll need to come back strong in Barcelona. Thankfully, Ferrari had a shocker and didn't get any points, so that let us off the hook somewhat, but we need both cars scoring. We got away with it today, but we need Checo back up there where he was at the beginning of the year from Barcelona onwards. The series now heads to the Spanish Grand Prix in Barcelona, a circuit that will provide a clear picture of the balance of power on the track. Red Bull is expected to return to the performance levels seen in Japan and China. Meanwhile, competitors like McLaren have brought significant updates, with the MCL38 showing its adaptability across various tracks, evidenced by 3 second-place finishes, 2 with Norris at Imola and in Canada, and 1 with Piastri in Monaco. The Woking-based outfit has cemented its place as a consistent podium challenger this season, having made rapid progress following a drastic overhaul of its management team last March, where then technical director James Key departed following a nightmare start to the 2023 campaign. A large step forward with an upgrade to its MCL60 Challenger in Austria saw Lando Norris and then Oscar Piastri, who only took on the new parts at Silverstone, emerge as threats to Red Bull at a number of races for the remainder of the season, underlined by the Australian taking victory in the Qatar Grand Prix sprint race. That form has ramped up into the new term, with Norris securing a long-awaited maiden F1 victory in Miami, as well as challenging Max Verstappen at Imola and Canada, either side of Oscar Piastri's second-place finish in Monaco. The competition's improved performance has caused some tension within Red Bull regarding the front wings of McLaren, Ferrari and Mercedes. According to journalist Michael Schmidt in a video analysis for the German outlet Auto, Motor and Sport, since Imola there have been heated discussions instigated by Red Bull about the flexing of the front wings, particularly of McLaren, but also of Ferrari and Mercedes. Known for their innovative flexible front wing designs in the past, Red Bull is now showing concern as regulations have tightened in this area, leading to scrutiny of their rivals' front aerodynamic components. We've talked a lot in our Ferrari videos about the diligent work the Maranello engineers are doing, and the efficient work in the factory produced the important upgrades that arrived in Imola. These upgrades will be the most significant that Ferrari introduce in 2024. Following the first set of updates to make the SF24 better, which were implemented at the Imola circuit, Cardile and his team quickly turned their attention to the next phase of development. Initially, the strategy was to roll out the second major update package at Silverstone, aiming to boost overall downforce and improve the car's aerodynamic balance to mitigate specific issues. However, according to several Italian media outlets, Scuderia Ferrari is accelerating production to debut these key updates in Barcelona instead. The technical team had originally planned to wait 6 races before introducing significant upgrades, choosing to thoroughly refine the first major redesign and bypass an intermediate development stage. Despite the disappointing performance at the Montreal circuit in the Canadian Grand Prix, the team at Maranello is working intensively with the clear goal of returning to the top and competing against Red Bull and McLaren for podium finishes. Anticipating the new floor for the Spanish Grand Prix will clearly be a race against time. As always, the most important race is the next one. As Carlos Sainz has also stated, the Italian team must get back on the right track in the upcoming Spanish Grand Prix. The circuit to Catalunya in Barcelona will be a crucial test for the second part of the championship. Hopefully, the updates planned by the Maranello team's technicians will allow the SF24 to return to form and challenge its main rivals for podiums and race victories. Do you think Ferrari will bounce back from the bad race in Montreal and contest in Barcelona? Let us know what you're thinking down in the comments below, and we'll see you soon in the next video.